there and welcome back. I am so excited to share today's topic with you. We are at the beginning of a new year, and a lot of times our goal, one of our goals anyway, is to take care of home. And I think that this is really something that the Lord puts in our hearts. Homemaking is important. Don't let the enemy deceive you. He's going to make you think that what happens at home doesn't matter, that there's more important things that you can be doing. But the truth is that the home and paying attention to your home is super important. In Proverbs 14:1, it says that the wise woman builds her house, but the foolish woman tears hers down with her own hands. And that's because home is the place where the next generation of godly men and women is going to be nurtured and taught and trained. That's the home. And the atmosphere of your home affects everything. It will have an impact on every part of your life if your home is not peaceful and a place that your family wants to come home to. So today we're going to be talking about creating simple routines that will help your home run smoother. Now, I talk a lot in the Thriving Mom Club about productivity. Productivity isn't necessarily doing more things, but it's doing the things more efficiently. And so we do a lot of work on that. If you are in the Thriving Mom Club, I just want to send a shout out to you. Thank you for being part of that community. If you are not part of the Thriving Mom Club, make sure to check it out. You can go to ashleyvarner.com/thrive and look at everything that's there. And I do offer the first month completely free, so you can check it out, see if it fits for you. If you haven't done that, make sure to check it out. Okay, so today I want to talk to you about 3 areas of your life that can be really managed well and better with simple routines that you do every day. The first is your laundry. Now, laundry is definitely a pain point for a lot of moms. And this is something that I didn't really notice as bad, I guess, until we had tons of kids in our house. And once we had all these kids in our home, I had to come up with a solution to figure out how to avoid mount laundry, figure out how to not feel overwhelmed by the amount of stuff and the amount of clothes that I had to take care of. So what I found worked for me, the first step that I took was to make sure that I did a small load of laundry every day. Now, if you have a lot of people in the house, it doesn't feel like a small load. But if you're doing one shirt, one pair of pants, underwear and that kind of stuff per person, then it really makes just a small load. Every night I would go around to the different rooms and collect the dirty clothes while my husband was helping the kids brush their teeth, maybe reading to them, and I would put all the clothes in the washer and I would set the delay. So I would set the washer to start very early in the morning, say 4 o'clock, something like that. And I really tried to set the timer from what I thought the time would be whenever I woke up. So that way, ideally, it would be done as soon as I woke up and I could transfer those clothes to the dryer. Once I started doing that, I would put the clothes in the dryer the very first thing I did in the morning. I would have my Bible study time. I would get ready for the day, get all of my regular stuff out of the way, and then I would go back to the dryer and I would sort the clothes. So one thing that we do in our home, and we always have, is we hang up all of our clothes on hangers. So pants, shirts, coats, sweaters, everything gets hung up on hangers. And the rest of it doesn't really need to be folded at all. Pajamas don't need to be folded. I would put socks together and I didn't worry about folding underwear. So each child had a basket in our laundry room and I would just throw the stuff into each kid's basket and then they would be able to take it with them. I keep hangers underneath in the drawer of my dryer and I sort them, and then all I have to do is just hang everything on hangers as soon as it comes out of the dryer. I put it in each kid's basket and they come and pick it up as part of their chores and laundry is done. So by, say, 8 o'clock in the morning, everything is clean in our house. All the laundry is clean. There might be some exceptions to this. My husband has work clothes that sometimes I wait and just do one load a week for him as far as his pants and that kind of thing. But for the majority of the clothes, it's never overwhelming if I do it every day. It doesn't really seem like too much work for me because I'm really only doing one set of clothes per person, and as soon as I hang those up, I just lay those flat in their baskets and they're ready to go. Now, some of you might be thinking that your kids are too young for this, and whenever I first implemented this, we had an 8-year-old, a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, twin 3-year-olds and a baby in the house, and everyone except the baby was able to take their clothes and put them away. We have rods that are low for the kids so they can just hang stuff up, and a tip here that I want to give you as far as these routines go is help your kids help you. So they have their little name on their baskets. It's really easy. It's not very heavy. We have baskets for underwear and socks, and they are able to hang up their stuff very easily. That makes a big difference whenever you're trying to do that. Don't feel like you have to fold everything and you're the one that has to put it away. You can train your kids to do these things and to make them a routine for their own day. The second simple routine that I want to give you is to tidy up every night. So I usually try to do this after we've just put the kids to bed. So we've laid the baby down, we have the kids in bed, and I go around and just start tidying up the house. You might wonder what I do in this tidying up process. The first thing I do is I put all of the toys away. Now, if I can delegate this to the kids, I usually do. So before they go to bed, they have to make sure that all of their toys are picked up, put away. Of course, their clothes need to be put away and in the hamper or in the washer. Sometimes I make them even put them in the washer for me. But we do this in the evening because it makes for such a simpler morning. Now, part of our tidying up is picking up the living room. Like I said, we delegate toys to the kids, but I also clean off the counters in our kitchen. I make sure to run the dishwasher, and just we all know what it feels like to wake up and there's just dishes on every surface in our kitchen. We've all been there, and it doesn't feel good. It doesn't make you excited for the day. It doesn't motivate you. So if you can just spend a short amount of time tidying up the kitchen before you go to bed, you are going to find that it just elevates your mood. The thing is that the atmosphere of our home really affects our attitude. It really changes how we feel. And so we can make sure to start the day off right by tidying up the house beforehand. It might feel like you're just too tired and you don't want to do it, but if you time yourself, it really only takes maybe 10 or 15 minutes to tidy up, and it just makes such a difference in your morning. Another thing that I like to do at this time is I check backpacks and I pack lunches if the kids are taking a lunch to school the next day. I make sure to have all that ready to go. That way in the morning it just runs smoother because I've done so much ahead of time. The last simple routine that I want to share with you today is to declutter. Now, there's a lot of talk about decluttering and minimalism and all of that, but I want you to consider decluttering as a daily routine. So something that you do every day where you might pick something small or even something big, and just every day make it a point to clean off a surface or empty out a drawer to help you have a simpler day. Routines really simplify our lives, they make our lives easier, and they make room for the more important things. So something that has really helped me, because you can declutter all you want, but if you continue to bring things back into the house and you're buying more stuff, it's going to be never ending. So one thing that really helped me was that to remember that everything that comes into your house, everything that passes through that doorway is one more thing that you have to manage. So as homemakers, we are responsible for our homes, and everything that comes into the house is something that you're going to have to wash, clean, pick up, all of those things. And so if you go in with the attitude of that anything that comes in is something that I am okay with managing, then you're going to really limit how much you actually bring into the home. The truth is that clutter really affects the stress in your life. So the more clutter that you have, there's a lot of studies that go into this, but there's a lot of stress that is connected to all of this stuff. And part of that is the stress of taking care of it, but also there's something called sensory overload. And this is something that I learned about in my research and just learning more about clutter and the psychology of it. And it's this idea that everywhere you look, there is stuff. And I decided to try this in my own home, where I took in an inventory of everything that was on the walls in my home. I'm not a minimalist, but I am someone who likes to simplify the stuff that's in my house, the stuff that's on my counter. I really was just looking at my home, my living room in particular, and I saw that there was a lot of things on the walls that didn't really have a purpose or that I didn't really want. So I started taking things off the walls. I still have decorations on the walls, but it's really minimal compared to what it was before. The first couple of days after I did this, I found that I felt like it looked like we were moving out of our house. It looked like there was just nothing there. But as I let myself get used to that way of living and seeing the stuff on the walls, or not seeing anything on the walls, I found that it was really just one less thing that my brain had to process. There was definitely sensory overload, and when I took some of that stuff down, it really didn't change the atmosphere of my home, but it changed how much I was dealing with it. And even if it's just looking at it, I'm dusting it, I'm cleaning it, I'm looking at it, all that stuff, and just taking stuff off of the walls and really consolidating what was there made a big difference for me. I won't go into depth here because in the Thriving Mom Club, I have several videos where I talk about decluttering your schedule, decluttering your home, decluttering your wardrobe, all that good stuff. But really, it's good to just remember that anything that comes into your home is something that you're going to have to manage. And the more that you can simplify that and really create a routine of decluttering in your life, the more that you're going to find it simplifies your day-to-day living. So I have a bonus tip for you in all of these routines that we're talking about and simplifying, and this bonus tip is to use a timer. We all have those kitchen timers and things like that, but I found a little timer that is in the shape of a cube, and on each side of the cube is a number, and one has 5 minutes, one has 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and 60 minutes. And every time that you set it with the number on top, it actually sets the timer for that amount of time. Plus, it's kind of fun. It's something simple that the kids enjoy, and I will leave a link for you so that you can find something similar. But this is also something that you can use in a variety of ways. So, like I said earlier, if you are feeling like tidying the house at night is just too much work, you feel like it's going to take an hour and you're just tired, I would really have you challenge yourself to time how long it actually takes for you to do things. This is going to help you to avoid procrastinating because you think, oh yeah, it's only going to take 10 minutes. It's only going to take 5 minutes. This is something that I used in emptying the dishwasher because it seemed like I never wanted to empty the dishwasher because I thought it was going to take too long. And one day I finally just timed myself. I set the timer and I realized it took me less than 5 minutes to empty the dishwasher. And once I realized that, it became really easy to say, oh, I have a couple minutes, let's empty the dishwasher. Another thing that I did this with was making my bed. Several years ago, I really made an effort to make my bed every morning. It's just something that becomes a catalyst for me. It makes me want to keep my room tidy. It makes me want to keep our kitchen tidy, all of that. At first I thought, well, it's not a big deal. I'm just going to be getting back into bed anyway. But once I timed myself, it took 2 minutes to do, less than 2 minutes, and I have a lot of pillows to put back on the bed. So it only took 2 minutes, and it made such a big difference for me. So I found that if I time myself, it helps me to avoid procrastinating on tasks that I really need to do, but really don't take too much time. Another thing that I do with our timer is I challenge my kiddos. So we might do a 15-minute speed clean. I'll set the timer and then I tell the kids that they have to speed through, clean up their room as fast as they can without that timer going off. And it just makes it fun. It makes things interesting and they enjoy the competition, and really that 15 minutes does so much for our mornings because we're not wading through toys and we're not looking for a sock and we're not doing all that because we've done that ahead of time. If you enjoyed this, then I really hope that you subscribe. It is my joy to take God's word and really find ways to apply it to my life. And so anytime that I can find wisdom in God's word, just like we saw in Proverbs 14 today, and actually use it and apply it to my life, that is one of my favorite things to do and one of my favorite things to share with you. So I hope that you enjoyed this, and I will talk to you guys next time.